patient name, don't even open the record, and you can just go into taking X-rays. It's that fast. Okay. Okay. So now here you can type in the patient name, and it'll filter out. As you're typing, last name or first name as you're typing, it'll filter the list. Or you can just double click. If you see the patient name, you can double click. Now you're in the patient record. In the patient record, you have several things you can do. Under the media bar right here, these buttons all affect the view of the thumbnails in the gallery. That's all they do, is the view of the thumbnails. So let's go ahead and show you what they do. The first button here, if let's say you wanted to compare a couple of images, or if you wanted to open several images in sequence, rather than opening one like this and then viewing it and then potentially doing something to it, like let's say you want to put an annotation on it and you want to draw an arrow, you want to do some text,
Put down the hall to the left.
and instead of now having to like close out of that, go to the next image and open it again, which is cumbersome going back and forth, what you can do is in the gallery view, if you select more than two images and you select the view selected media, it'll load all three of them. And all you have to do is do some work on this one. You can go to the next image and so forth. So you don't have to close out of it and go and open another one. So if you know you're going to work on 2 or 3 or 4 images, might as well select them in the gallery view and click on View Selected Images. Okay? Now, the next button here is View as Thumbnails. And if you roll your mouse over any of the icons, it'll tell you what it does. And this one is View as List. So this is like Windows Explorer. It will show you the images, image sizes, and all of that. But most people just want to see the thumbnails. Okay? Then you can go into small thumbnails, medium thumbnails, large thumbnails. The default is medium. Okay, so as you get more X-rays, instead of having to scroll through them, you can go to small and see all of them. Or if you've just got a few and you just want to see them nice and big. And then if you're still not satisfied with all of that, you've got the custom size. Okay,
Cool.
we're all about choices.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Now, does it reset after every patient you open it?
That's correct. The default will be this.
Okay.
This is what the system default is. But the others you can do on an as-needed basis. So sort by media date. That's the default. That means the earliest, the newest will be here. The oldest will be down here. So it goes left to right in each row. Sort by name, alphabetically or numerically. Okay. So sorted by date or name. Default is the date. That's what most people sort it by. They want to see the newest ones first. Okay. Let's say you're going to work on a bunch of images. Let's say you've got 6 images here. Let's say you're going to work on 4 of them. Rather than clicking on 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, what you can do is click on all of them and just eliminate these 2. You see? So it's 2 clicks. So this is select all. This is select none. Okay. This is the garbage can. Okay. So let's say you wanted to get rid of one of these images. Okay. If you clicked on the garbage can, it says, are you sure you want to delete the selected media? Though the media will no longer be accessible from this patient, they will be archived should future recovery be required. So you're not actually deleting it permanently. It's deleting it from the view. If you ever needed it, let's say you say, oops, a week from now, you can call us and say, patient so-and-so, we deleted an image, and we need that back. And we can get it back for you. You can't get it back, but we can log in and get it out of the database. So once I click OK, it's going to disappear from here, but it's always in the database. So one thing you have to remember, whenever you import something into Visora, it's permanent.
Okay.
It's not going anywhere. Okay? So do not be afraid of working on the system. There's no save button anywhere in the software. You don't have to save anything while you're working. So if you're working, power goes out, computer crashes, whatever, you're in the middle of something, you're not like, ooh, I didn't save it. Don't worry about that. It automatically saves as you go along. Okay? All right. Now, if you want to compare 2 images side by side, let's say you want to see these 2 images in comparative view. You see these 2 faces looking at each other? That's side by side comparative view. Okay? So it opens up those 2 images. It shows you which 2 images. You see the blue border around the 2 images? Let's say you want to switch one of the images out for this image. You can do that. So this thumb strip down here, film strip down here is to allow you to then actively change the comparative view. So you're keeping one fixed and you're comparing it to the others. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and exit out of here. Okay. And this one is grid view. So let's say you wanted to see more than two, like 3 or 4 images, enlarged. You click the grid. Okay? And it'll lay them out in a grid.
Will it take that long to
Yeah,
load
not
up?
really. I mean, these are new computers, right?
Yeah, they're brand new.
Okay. Okay. Usually, the more images you select, the longer it'll take because it's loading all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But typically, that should have taken like 3 seconds. It looked like it took 4 or 5, which is still not bad. These are all. Remember, look at the size. It's 2.3 megabytes. We don't compress the images. Many other software, they compress the images. You lose quality when you do that. We leave them full size. You have a brand new server with a lot of storage. You're not going to run out of space. These days, that doesn't happen. Okay, so any questions on these buttons?
Grid? What is that for?
The grid.
The other one.
Oh, the grid basically opens it up in a more than 2. If you wanted to compare more than 2 at one time. Okay. And the other one is comparative view.
That one, right?
This one?
Mm-hmm.
This is sort media by
Oh,
date. That's
okay,
the default.
okay.
This is sort media by name.
So if we, we'll say patient's been an established patient and they came back for several recalls, how will it show up? Will it?
Newest and oldest, right?
Will it still go by date, or will it go by Xray, like group it together with?
Both. This view right here, if you look on the left, it says types. This view is single Xray view, and it goes by date. Okay. Now, if you want to see them grouped, you go into groups. You see, this is the BiteWing on. This is the latest one we took. This is the BiteWing template. We opened it. We only exposed one, obviously, and this was the previous one when I was testing with the little thing, and this was the first one I tested with. Okay, so yes, it's grouped according to the template name that you gave, when you acquired it, right? And time and date stamp.
Okay.
Okay. So under types, these are just single images. So when you go to X-rays right here,
Which is everything you took on that patient.
Right. But historically, from newest to oldest.
Okay.
If you go to groups, you can see them by exam series. Okay. All right. And then in labels, okay, you can go ahead and label these things, certain things. So if you want to create a label, you can click create a label. Like, let's create one right now. Let's say fracture. Okay. Okay. So here, I can click this image and drag it to the fracture label. See, you see how I'm doing that? So when I bring it over to fracture, it's highlighted. Okay, it says one image has been tagged with that label, right? What's the importance of that? Well, let's show you. Let's go to the patient list. Let's completely get out of that patient. Let's click on search, and label is fracture is the newest one at the bottom, right? Search.
So we're looking at all the X-rays that we labeled fracture
Right.
under all the patients that.
It could be all patients, specific patients. So let's go back. Let's delete the search. Click on search. You can say specific patient. So if you want to see all the images that you labeled fracture for this patient, Ekram Khan, you go in here, and if you have that label there, you go, or all the number 15 X-rays.
Okay.
If you're watching a specific tooth, you go to the specific patient, select the label. So if you click fracture and you search for fracture, it'll pull up this one, right? Or you can go here. Let's delete the search. Deleting a search doesn't mean you're deleting the X-ray. It's just that search parameter.
Oh, okay.
So if you click on all patients, let's say one of the labels that you decide as an office to use is crown and bridge, or you can use this to take color photos too. So a post-op crown and bridge. Let's say you create a label like that, but you forget you have a new patient coming in that needs crown and bridge work, and you did a great case like 2 years ago where you forgot the name of the patient. You can go in here and say search all patients, Maybe the patient's name started with a